next 6 minutes, you will learn how you can use AI to automatically create brilliant process flows that describe your products. And to do this, we are going to use a tool called Miro. This is a great collaborative tool that helps teams design new products. I'm not sponsored by them, but I think it's brilliant for this use case. Here is the Miro interface, and I thought I'd give a new title of Example Process Map. And after that, I've gone to this Create with AI area. And you can see there's a number of different options of things you can do creating with AI on here. But I chose diagram or mind map. And after that, there's a few types of diagrams you could create. In my case, I wanted to create a flowchart. And then you've got an option to put some information about your use case. Okay, at this point, you need to add some kind of details about the app that you're creating. So this is what I ended up putting in. I am creating a new banking app that helps users keep track of their money across different accounts. There are two types of users: personal and family groups. Users need to be able to create or register for your accounts, log in, and then they can add references to different bank accounts they own. They should then be able to see a dashboard showcasing their overall values of money saved in each bank account. This isn't a real use case or anything, but I think it's a pretty good example of the kind of thing that you might put in here. With that, it starts generating the output, and it says it might take a couple of minutes, but this is in real time, and I found it did it really quickly. And very instantly, it comes up with a process flow that is the sort of thing I was expecting. So it has a start point, it has an end point, and a number of steps, and some decisions in between that. For instance, you can see that I mentioned I've got two types of users, a personal user or a family group user, and it makes a decision there before login. However, if this is real, I'd make some changes at this point. So that's what I did. As I just wanted to get started, I only gave a little bit of information about the app that I've got in mind. But at this point, you could start adding a bit more detail. So that's what I'm going to do. I added this additional prompt. Once users have added their bank accounts, they should be able to go into each account and edit details. In particular, they should be able to add a record for how much is saved into that account each month. Again, with that addition of another prompt, it starts generating an update, and it actually goes and edits your original version. So you can see really quickly it started bringing that flow together, and it's added a couple of additional steps into the process. This is looking really good so far, and that meant I had a bit more confidence to try and add a little bit more complexity into the flow. This next prompt is really about me trying to add a load more detail. So I've said I would like the user to be able to create a profile for themselves and edit basic details about themselves, such as editing their name and photo. I also want them to be able to share bank accounts with other users, so that those users can edit those accounts too. This should only be available to those with a family account. I also want to have a notifications area that reminds users to add their latest monthly saving record per bank account each month. Again, this generated a new updated process flow. You'll see that it goes through the full process flow, including all of the things that I've just added. So it goes step by step, quite sequentially. But the thing that's quite weird about it is it seems to just do everything in an order. That's not how I actually imagine an app like this working. Typically, you'd go to a home screen or something and then have some decisions to make. So the final prompt that I'm going to add is to fix this. I've written the user shouldn't have to edit profile details before adding a bank account. In fact, when the user logs in, they should see a home screen where they can choose to edit profile details, add bank accounts, add monthly saving records, or view dashboard. Again, after just a couple of seconds, it generates an updated process flow, and this time it looks a little bit different. Again, the flow processes quite normally, but you've got, after the point you've logged in, a home screen where it goes to multiple different options. And this is much more like the kind of examples that I've seen in the past. The one thing that I found a bit weird on here is the notifications area comes after viewing a dashboard. And if it was me, I would start then manually changing some of this. So I've added it to the canvas, and at which point you can start dragging and dropping different elements around the place. which is where you want to get to, because although the AI will help you get to a certain point, really there is going to be places where you need to adapt it based on your own knowledge. And there you go, that is my quick demo of how you can use Miro to create an AI generated process flow diagram. I've worked as a product manager for over 10 years and I've found myself creating a lot of diagrams like this in the past, sometimes with a service designer or a BA, but always to help me understand where a product is and where it might go in the future. And this is a really interesting use case for AI because actually it does take a lot of fiddly moving around of different elements to get your ideas down in the first instance. And this is where I think it's really helpful, is quickly getting you to a place where you've got an outline. What it won't necessarily do is create the perfect flow for you, because you are best going in and tweaking certain decision points and discussing them. But to accelerate you to get to that first diagram and that first version, this is a brilliant piece of technology. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like the video and maybe think about subscribing to the channel. I am using lots of AI driven tools and technologies in my work and I'm sharing what I learn as I go. If you think that might be useful, then why not subscribe and follow along for the journey. With that, this video has been quite a process to put together. If only I had an easy way to map it all out.